Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. It is Friday and we are doing a full face Friday. So what I thought I would do today is actually use a bunch of my Sephora recommendations and put them on my face. So I had some of my favorites that are tried and true, and I thought, you know what, let's do a whole little tutorial so you can actually see them in action and I can spend a little bit more time talking about them versus my rapid fire kind of video I was trying to do the other day. So if you're interested in seeing how I got this look using a bunch of my sort of luxury favorites from Sephora, then let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, it is Friday and we need to put on a full face. Today what I'm going to do is use a bunch of my favorite kind of luxury items that will be available at Sephora. So we're going to do a full face of Sephora favorites. I try to just pull out things that I truly love and recommend, and I just thought it'd be nice for you to be able to see them in action. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start with the Tom Ford. This is the Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. I really like this one, and I am in the shade 4.7. This is going to make me look a little bit tan, so I'm tempted to actually even buy a winter shade in this. That's how much I actually really like this. So even though it says it is a matte foundation, I actually find this to be quite radiant, and I really like this. It's got a solid medium coverage. The finish is nice and radiant, and I just think it's lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one pump here, and this is in 4.7. I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of this on. So when I wear this on camera, this is one that you guys often tell me that my skin looks good. And this is the foundation. Now this color is just a tad bit dark, just a smidge, and so you guys were asking me if I had self-tanned, which I never do. So I was laughing. I'm like, nope, I think this foundation's a little bit dark for me at the moment. Then I am recommending the Rare Beauty. You guys, these brushes are amazing. This is the foundation brush. I just love the angle. It's super soft, and I definitely would tell you to get this and the concealer brush. Just so nice. So I am just going to kind of buff this into the skin, and it's not going to make me look too tan, but you'll see. It gives my skin a little bit of life to it. So I'm debating, because you know I'm a nut bar with colors, and so I think 3.7 is called Champagne, and so I am tempted to pick that up at the sale, but clearly I don't need any more foundation, but I love it, so we'll see. I am getting together my own list of goodies. I'm also intrigued by the Huda Beauty, their stick foundation. I actually really like stick foundations, and that one looks kind of interesting to me. So I'll be kind of sharing some of the things that I'm thinking about as well in this video. Okay, that is one pump of that soft matte foundation, and as you can see, you guys, I think it kind of has a radiant finish. This also kind of dries down really lovely on the skin. It is kind of like great for warmer weather, but I'm finding that it's hydrating enough for the winter as well. And as I said, this shade works pretty well for me. Just a teeny bit warm, but it was just funny because you guys were asking me if I'd self-tanned, and this was the one that I was wearing. So highly recommend this little Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Foundation. I think it is a winner. And for concealer, I just pulled out the Giorgio Armani. This is their Luminous Silk Concealer, and yep, I still love it. And I am in this shade, and I'm in the shade 4.5. So nice little applicator here. And the reason I like this, it's got a nice little thin consistency. So it does not really fall into my wrinkles too much, but it just has a really nice little texture. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my eyes underneath. Then I'm going to take the Rare Beauty. This is the concealer brush. And you guys, I really recommend these brushes. They are just fantastic for kind of our liquid and cream products. The shape is fabulous. They are soft and I just love them. So those are a definite yes for as far as brushes. And I just use my concealer kind of to prime my eyes. So just taking a little bit of that. That's another reason I love this. It just really is fantastic for this eye area. Okay, we're getting complexion going. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyes, and I do highly recommend the Tom Ford First Frost. So you guys, I love this one. It is just right up my alley. It's just really pretty, and I have been using this kind of nonstop since I got it. So this is just sort of a perfect, what I would consider Abby quad, and as I shared in my last video, I love these Dior Quints, so cannot go wrong with the Dior Quints. And someone was asking me about if these were similar. So this is soft cashmere, and then this is First Frost. So you guys, these are definitely still kind of on the more cool slash, this one's going to be cool and warm tones. This is definitely a cool toned kind of quint, and I really love soft cashmere, but they are two different things. So you can get a similar soft kind of look, but I would definitely say no, these are not exactly in the same category. So it would just be, this would be more traditional, cool toned, kind of taupey colors. And this one's got this beautiful little pink shade that I love. Now these are in this wet dry formulation, so they definitely still have kind of the all shimmer kind of look. But as you'll see, I'm going to just use a few of them for a really soft, easy look today. And I'm going to place a nice little matte shade in my crease to kind of go along with this guy. So I pulled out one of my favorite kind of just basic shades. This is from Marc Jacobs, and this is in the Big O, and I just love this. Is just a perfect neutral shade, so I will often just lay a little bit of this down in my crease for many different kind of eye looks. I haven't used this on camera recently, but I use this all the time, so this is kind of just always in my where I do makeup. And I just take a little bit of this, you guys, and these are just kind of fantastic. But Big O is just kind of like your perfect kind of universal neutral shade. So I will just take a little bit of that before we get in to using First Frost and just kind of create a little shadow there. So these are fabulous too, you guys. You get a lot of product, and if you find like one basic shade that you like, you will use it all the time. I often also use MAC. There is one of their paint pots that I love. The name is escaping me. But basically having one perfect little matte kind of shadow is perfect. So I just take whatever's left on my brush, and then I'll just kind of put just a little bit all over the lid to create my base. Then I'm going to go in to this beautiful pink shade here. This is partly why I wanted to purchase this, and I have not been disappointed. So I'm going to place that down on my lid, and you guys, it's just so pretty. Just a nice little kind of sophisticated shimmer, just like Tom Ford doesn't overdo anything. So even on my more mature eyes, I feel like I can get away with this. And especially if I place just a little bit of a matte shadow. So I'm just going to take that. And we're just putting a little bit of that beautiful kind of rose pink shade just on the lid here. Then I'm taking another recommendation. This is the ROEN Everything Eye Brush. You guys see me use this a lot. So it's kind of like a barrel on one end and then a very fine little tip on the other. So you can definitely use this for eyeliner, and then this barrel kind of thing is also fantastic for cream shadows, but it also is great for getting right in at the outer V. So I'll go in with this beauty over here. It's kind of like a little coppery, and I will use just a little of that on the outer V. I'm just sort of intensifying just a little bit on the outer. And it just is a fantastic brush, you guys. And then with this deeper kind of beautiful chocolatey bronze color, I'll go in with the other end here, and I will run that close to my lash line. I will be using some eyeliner today, but for those of you that do not wear eyeliner, you can definitely use this shade. And I'm just going to come here, and I'm going to come run it close to my lash line. And you will see it's gonna kind of define my eyes a little bit. And I just love this little side brush, perfect for eyeliner. So it's starting to bring a little bit of eyeballs. Then I'm going to take just a little bit of that beautiful kind of oyster color up here, kind of a pearl, and I use a little fan brush and I just put that up just a little bit up to bring a little highlight up in that brow bone, just a tad. So you guys, it just creates such a soft, pretty eye. And again, you could leave it like that, put on mascara and be ready to go. But I am, of course, going to put a little bit of eyeliner on just because I feel like I need it. So in general, you guys, my favorite eyeliners are from Chanel and CHANTECAILLE, but I did laugh because I do have a favorite from Urban Decay, and this one is in Demolition. So as you can see, this is so well loved. I've gone through many of these. We are literally down to the nub, but I think this will go perfect with this kind of eye look. You guys, Demolition is basically a very Demolition is just like a really rich kind of black coffee kind of color, so it bridges the gap between kind of black and brown. It is fantastic. These stay on forever, and clearly I love it. And I was just laughing. I was like, I need to bring out an eyeliner to recommend for the Sephora sale, and you guys, they have fantastic colors. I do love these, and they do stay in place. So I'm going to wiggle this little liner near my lash line. I put on Demolition on the top, and then I went ahead and put on my favorite. This is Chanel STYLO U in Purple Chalk. I kind of just put a little bit of that in my waterline. I just find that it kind of brightens up my eyes a bit. So that would be a little cheating, not from the Sephora sale, but I am going to go and put on my mascara. And you guys, there's all sorts of fantastic mascaras at Sephora, so that's a great time if you're trying to pick up, you know, your kind of staples and such. I just had Mascara Madness at Nordstrom, and I picked up my personal favorite, which is the Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara. It just helps my lashes grow, and I just love the brush and such. So I will be right back. I'm going to go put on my mascara, and then I will be right back. We have mascara on. Then you guys, I really do love the Rare Beauty. This is the Harmony Brow. This one is in Cool Brown. On one end it's got the pencil part, and on the other it's got a little brow gel. So again, I am not a fantastic brow person, you guys. That's often why you do not see me do them on camera. As I've said, my cute daughter will often do my brows for me. I'm trying to do them more often since she'll be going away to college next year, and I'm going to have to do them by myself. I'm going to be a wreck. So speaking of which, she has just pulled the trigger on 9 schools. She is applying to a bunch of schools to give herself some options, and we're not done yet. That's what I'm saying. She's got a huge list, but it's kind of fun because she finally pulled the trigger. She's been working so hard on her essays, so that was the excitement of the day, was actually pulling the trigger, because she's been like, kind of a perfectionist, and at some point you just need to be done. So very exciting. So I will just kind of do that, you guys. I just do a little bit more on the tail end, and then I will use that brow gel, and it just stays in place, and I've really been enjoying that product. So for bronzer, we're going to be using the Gucci bronzer, and yep, you guys, I do love this. I have this in shade 2. This is, again, one of my favorite kind of bronzers. I love this color, and I'm going to just kind of put a little bit of bronzer on. We'll warm up the skin, but this is one of my recommendations. I really do love this color. I think it does something a little magical on the skin, and this formulation is just super pretty, you guys. It's going to kind of meld into the skin. It's almost like a little bit gel-like, so it's not like it's powder laying on top of the skin. It kind of meshes with your skin, and it just looks really natural and pretty. So we're going to be putting a little bit of that on. If you have watched my channel for a while, you know that I always like to take a little bit of my bronzer, and I like to put that in my crease just to tie everything together. I will just put a little bit of that, not much, but I just find that it kind of ties the whole face together. So we are going to do that. And I find that it doesn't really alter your eye look. It just kind of, again, ties the whole face together. So love this bronzer. I highly recommend it. And then for blush, you guys, I really do love these Rare Beauty blushes. This is going to be your option if you want something cream-like. I love this in the shade Bliss. It's just a beautiful kind of peachy pink color. We have a couple more of those, but you cannot go wrong with anything from Rare Beauty. We truly, both my daughter and I, really love that brand. But yep, I'm gonna have to pull this guy out. I know I talk about this a lot, but this is in the backstage. This is from DIOR, Rosy Glow Blush. But you guys, it looks a little scary in the pan, but I just find that it gives me just kind of like a just worked out kind of look, and I just love it. So I'm gonna put that on today so you can see. I think partly because I don't want you to be scared of it. It is just so, can you just see, it's gonna give me a little bit of flush. And I think what's cool about this one is that it looks good on all skin tones. So I think that's why I like to recommend it, is that it's going to look a little different on everybody. But even for my pale skinned friends, I have someone who is much paler than I am, and she looks fantastic. And then on dark skin tones, it kind of gives a really pretty little flush of color. So kind of feel like this is a good universal color, and they also have it in sort of a peach tone, so I might pick that one up. But I really love this blush. Don't worry, we're going to blend everything in, and I'm actually going to take a little teeny bit of that blush. I want to bring out a little bit of the pink from that quad. I'm going to just put a little bit of that too, kind of in that crease. Bring a little touch of that pink back in to this look. So Just a tad, guys. Okay, one more recommendation, you guys. I absolutely love the La Mer powder brush, and I have gotten every bit of my money's worth with this brush. So oftentimes you will see me on camera using my kind of what I like to use as a finishing powder is the Sicily bronzer along with the La Mer brush. This was a recommendation from my friend Jenny, and she was right. This is how she finishes off her face most days. It gives you sort of a natural glow. They don't sell Sicily at Nordstrom, but the other one I would recommend is the Armani, and this is in the Neo Fusion powder, and I have this in shade 6.5, and so it's got a little bit of a bronzy kind of undertone to it, and it really makes your skin look beautiful. So I'll just take a little bit of this, which is another one that I often use, and I will finish off my face with this, kind of setting everything and toning down that blush and bronzer. And so that's another reason I love this big fluffy brush, is that it's going to kind of buff everything into the skin and mesh and not look like there's any demarcations of makeup. So it's just soft, it is beautiful, and I love it. Using that to kind of give myself a little glow. The other powder I wanted to point out is the Hourglass. This is the Infinity powder. You guys, I love all Hourglass powders. I find them to be fantastic for more mature skin. I love this one as well. I just wanted to get a little bit of that bronzy kind of effect that I normally do, but this is another one that is well loved. And one thing I'll tell you about Hourglass powders, you'll have them for years. They literally last and last. So this one is gorgeous. These things don't quite swatch as well as you can see on camera, but I do have a video using this, and so you can check that out. But I definitely would recommend that too as a setting powder that's just going to give your face a beautiful little glow. So both of these are fantastic and highly recommend. As far as lipsticks, we could be here for days if we were going to be playing around with that. So I did just pick out one Tom Ford that I totally recommend, and that is in Casablanca. Now I do have it in the special packaging, but I've had this color in the original packaging, but I just find this to be such a fantastic kind of universal color. So I just wanted to pull this one out since I have purchased this before and repurchased. And so that is Casablanca, kind of like your perfect go-to kind of neutral rose color. Then I thought I would go ahead and have fun since I purchased this, and they do have this at Sephora, is this new Balm Frost here. And you guys, I wasn't quite sure about this because I don't necessarily love kind of metallic kind of lippies, but I have to say this is a fantastic topper. So I'm going to put a little bit of this on top, and you'll see it just kind of transforms and gives my lips a little extra oomph. So if you're interested in getting the Soleil First Frost collection, I do have to say I love this as a topper, and I love this eye quads. Those have been well loved. And then we'll finish off with the Charlotte Tilbury. This is her Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. You guys, I really do love this. It's going to give my skin a glow all day long. So we'll go ahead. I also find that it gives your hair a little zhoosh. So multi-purpose product here, kind of keeps everything in place, but that would be a fantastic setting spray as well. And then we'll finish with a perfume of the day. As I mentioned, they are now selling by KILIAN fragrances at Sephora, and the Moonlight in Heaven is just a fantastic kind of fragrance that I really can recommend to most people. This has both a fresh and sensual side to it that I feel like a lot of people will like. So what I will tell you is that it has notes of mango and almost like mango sticky rice. So it's got a sweetness to this, but it's also got a layer of florals in it that's going to be fresh. So there's a little bit of a laundry smell to it, and I don't want that to turn anybody off. But if you kind of like that, you know, when you're doing laundry and it smells so good in your house and it smells fresh, it's going to have a nice powdery dry down to it that's going to be very inviting and smell a little bit fresh and powdery. But it also has middle notes of this kind of mango and kind of milky rice accord. And so that, if I think of mango sticky rice is what I like to describe this as, it's definitely got a little bit of this kind of yummy, kind of sensual feeling of that dessert. But if you've ever had that, it's not over the top sweet. So mango sticky rice definitely has a little bit of a savory side, so a little savory and sweet in here, but it's just not overly too fruity or too sweet, and it's just lovely. This is a really a pretty kind of fragrance. This again is also a huge compliment getter because it's got kind of, I find that most fragrances that are kind of complimentary are ones that are either kind of fresh or sweet, and this has got a little bit of both in it. So definitely, you guys, I think you would love Moonlight in Heaven by KILIAN. Some people describe this as a more summery fragrance because it's got a little bit of coconut in it. I think this is like a year-round kind of pleaser. So the other day I put this on and then I was going out. It was a little bit crisp in the 40s, and it just was like the most intoxicating kind of fragrance when I went outside into the fresh air. It worked really well. So to me, this is more of a year-round scent, but definitely wanted to highlight this one again since they are now selling the KILIAN fragrances there. Okay guys, this is full face of Sephora favorites on my face in action. And as always, you guys, I love to know what you guys are picking up at the sale. Let me know if there's something that you want me to review. I'm always happy to take those recommendations, and I hope you guys have a fantastic start to your weekend. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back with another video soon.